Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late March, moving into early April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos in late March, early April? We're moving on. We're already in Aries season. But what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in late March, early April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out here for my good friends. What do we got? Yeah, the deck is being specific. A lot of you know I only read jumpers. Usually the Leo cards are flying. And this one's like, maybe we'll be a little more strategic this week. There we go. So this energy seems to be moving in a very similar direction. If you look at the energy flow of all the stuff we have going in with this card, it reminds me a lot of the Chariot, which could be a very good thing. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as we can see, it's a beautiful piece of imagery we got going on. We have this lady kind of dressed up as a pilot walking in that direction. We have stuff in the background moving in that direction. That looks like a flying fish or whale. We got the ship, and then we got the martlet birds, which are birds that don't have feet. So there is a lot of undertone here of like travel and distance. The energy's moving, the energy's flowing, and that's the big thing. For some reason, I'm very focused on the martlet birds. Because they're a mythological type of bird that don't have feet, so they always have to keep flying. They're always moving. They're always going. So when I see this, yeah, it's very chariot-like, where it's like either it's coming or going. It's coming in hot. So there is like this strong, determined push type of energy behind the Leo collective this week, which is nice. So again, maybe some of you, you're moving your energy in a different direction. That's very possible too when this card is here. The only downside I see with this card is make sure you're not burning yourself out, whatever it is you're dealing with, whether it's like a lot of work stuff, a lot of personal stuff. Spirit could be saying like pace yourself, because remember, this energy is always moving, it's always going, always flowing. So don't overwhelm. But the energy is moving. If you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling like not much has been going on, this is a very good sign, because the energy is doing something, even if it's under the surface. So we're just going to let her chill right there. She could keep going on her journey. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was a pretty positive leaning reading last week, and I really liked it. It felt very much claimable. The reading was titled A Massive Blessing. Now, I always say when it comes to blessings, they come in all different shapes and sizes, depending on what leg of the journey you're on and what's going on in your life. So again, whether it was interpersonal relationships, romantic relationships, friends, family, work-related things, money and abundance, there was a very good energy coming in. Now, that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, so there's a lot of good energetic potential. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. 3 cards for the lovely Leos. Late March, early April. What do we got going on here? What do we got for our good friends? Here we go. Thank you. Cool. Hey, we got the Fool. I like it. You know me, I always like an action card in the beginning. Now, this energy can, and we're sticking with that theme where the energy's flowing, the energy's moving, it's doing something. So let's get a couple more. Sometimes that Fool needs to slow it down. All right, King of Pentacles. So it's like a little go stop, but I like them. I feel optimistic about what we're picking up so far, Leo. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. It's a nice stable energy in the center. Okay, there's going to be a bonus. So we have a lot of other people's energy showing up here now too. So we got the Lovely King of Wands right there, big Leo power card. Remember, it's not gender specific. And then we got the Eight of Cups. So the energy flowing and going and moving is still in the undercurrent of the theme. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements first because it frames the reading and tells us how things are going. A lot of fire. Okay, so we got the Fool and the King of Wands, fire energy. This is also air for some people, some readers, but to me, I'm just going to give it fire for all my intents and purposes. But in the center, we have earth. Now, the big thing, and we do have a little water, so it is mixed up pretty nice, but in the main part of the spread, it's fire and earth. So to me, I always say those are the outside forces, whereas like water and air, that's your internal self, the heart and mind. When we have fire and earth, it's like the stuff outside of ourselves or in the material world. Now, when it comes to fire, that's the realm of action. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions you want to take, that energy is always doing something or it's about to do something. And it's your power element, it's your comfort zone. So when there's a lot of fire in a Leo reading, that's a good thing because it's like, okay, you're right at home with this. Cool. It could just be passion, drive, motivation. Fire burns hot. So it's like something that really sets a spark within you. I really like that. But the downside to a lot of fire, which I'm sure some of you already know, could be a little unpredictable, right? It could be a little explosive, a little volatile, where like this fire can burn hot in other directions. So it's something we want to keep an eye on. Then in the center, we have earth. That represents more of like our day to day life, feelings of security and stability, your regular routine, home, family, work, business, money, finances. So we think of the earthly realm. So you see what I mean? We have the fire, which is the actions that we take and actions other people take, and the world around us, the stage itself. So we need to really see how this is going to play. And then, of course, water on the back end is emotional, but that's more of a bonus. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we got the Fool card, the protagonist of the tarot deck, the first of the major arcana. This is always great, especially in the beginning of a reading. I always say the Fool is great for new. It's fresh. It's taking action. It's making moves. There's a joyful energy attached to this. It's lighthearted. It's having a good time. It's having fun. So I always like the Fool, especially in a fire sign reading. But this energy can also be foolhardy. So that's something we do want to watch out for because notice the Fool's always about to walk off a cliff there, right? It's got his little puppy dog where it's like, no, don't do it, don't go. So sometimes this card could represent urges. It could represent taking a risk. Nothing wrong with taking a calculated risk, but sometimes the Fool will act before it thinks. So that's one thing we need to look out for. But overall, I like it. It's fresh. It's new. It's optimistic. Really nice. It's also Aries. Some people also give it to Aquarius, but when I see the Fool, I think of Aries energy, and we are currently at the time of this filming in Aries season. So it might tell us something that's coming towards you in the very, very near future. Now, moving to the middle, as we get this Fool tucked back in by this amethyst, we have a totally different vibe. Not necessarily in a bad way, but we got the King of Pentacles, big earth sign vibes. Remember, not gender specific. It could be a Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And I always say when it comes to kings, they represent control of their respective suits. So we already spoke about what the earthly means, like the money, home, family, day-to-day routine. So to me, the King of Pentacles is like, yes, I got this on lock. Yes, things are predictable. There's a certain sense of nice predictability to this. Huge card of blessings and abundance. This is great for earthly materials and assets. Love it. The downside to the King of Pentacles, sometimes this card could be a little stubborn, a little set in its ways, my way or the highway type of vibe. The King of Pentacles can also get a little wild sometimes, so we do want to look at it because there is this little wild streak showing through your reading this week. Watch out for feeling stuck. That's another thing, especially with the Fool, where it's like go, 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 and then the King of Pentacles like not so fast. So there is this little switch up of energy. Now, moving to the very back end, we have one of your power cards as we get this King of Pentacles tucked back in here. We have the King of Wands, beautiful. And as I already mentioned, kings represent control of their respective suit, action, just like we were talking about, action, passion. So there is a little tension, especially surrounding this King of Pentacles, right? Because we have this energy that's trying to go, 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 no, no, no. And then we have the King of Wands where it's like, oh, yes, yes, we will. So it's like, go, stop, go. There's this little back and forth in the energy. Now, I love the King of Wands. It just boasts some really big confidence and feeling great about oneself. It's a very vibrant type of energy. So for Leos, it's a very great card. The downside to the King of Wands, it could be very, very temperamental. Whereas, like, this one could be very set in its ways. This one could be the opposite, where this one is like, nothing's going to happen unless I allow it. Then the King of Wands comes in and says, I will blow it all up, right? So we're going to want to look at him because there's an aggressive streak that this card can have. I would say overall, I like where we're going. I like how the energy feels. But when we have two cards of control here on the back end and we have the fire, earth, fire type of mixture going on, it's worth keeping an eye on. And then here on the back end, we have the Eight of Cups, very similar to that first Oracle card. Some readers say that this is an energy that could be walking away or giving up, and that's true. But to me, I'm just seeing energy in motion, right? Like when we had that first Oracle, now we got the Fool, and we have this. It's a want to switch something up, or it is energy that's in motion at the current time. So we're going to put it down right there. Yeah, I want to dive in deeper on all this, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the lovely Leos? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Fool. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. You could drop whatever messages you might have for Leo right down in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Fool here? Why is the Fool here for my good friends? Thank you. Okay, I don't want to say that this is a reckless type of energy, but there is this unplanned type of vibe, and it does feel a little bit risky to me. So we have the Two of Wands in reverse, and I'm going to explain to you why these kings become even more important now in the Leo reading. The Two of Wands, as with all twos, could represent partnerships. Um, it could represent decisions and choices. The Two of Wands in particular is an energy that's planning, where it's like, I'm planning my next steps. I'm going to go ahead like this. It's like very structured. I don't want to say it's rigid, but it has a plan in place and it wants to follow it. When I see it in reverse, that is a recipe for saying, forget the plan. I'm just going to do this now. Then we have the Fool on top of it, which I told you could also be very impulsive, both fire elements showing up here. So there is this energy that doesn't follow along with the plans, doesn't play with the rules. It says, you know what, I'm going to color outside the lines. I'm going to do what I want and how I want to do it. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but this energy is not playing along with the plan, where it's like not going according to plan initially. Now, another vibe, I'm just telling you, the urges are showing up heavily here to me this week. It does feel a little bit risky. I don't want to call it a warning, but there is this vibe where it's like, okay, well, this was the plan and this is what I was going to do, but I want to do this now. So it's like I'm calling an audible at the last second. Now, for some of you, that could be a good thing. If you have something planned out and it's things aren't going according to plan, maybe this is spirit saying, all right, yeah, well, maybe switch it up. Maybe switch up the plan. Nothing wrong with that. But there is this riskiness or this risk that I'm picking up. And again, as a fire sign myself, there's nothing wrong with a calculated risk. This doesn't feel very calculated, though. It just feels like, screw it, I'm going to do it. So we're going to keep moving forward. No judgment here, but it's an energy that's saying, like, you know, I'm just going to do what I want. Let's go in on the King of Pentacles. So why is the King of Pentacles here? Okay. And then this energy tries to fight it. Okay. So we got the Page of Wands in reverse underneath this King of Pentacles, where it's like, oh no, you're not. Oh no, you're not. It's similar to like a parent, or like, you know, when you parent a young child and you're like, hey, don't do that. If you do that, you might not like the consequences. That's kind of what I'm picking up here, where like this energy is just wanting to do something, wanting to take action, wanting to make it happen, because aside from the plans, there is this, you know, kind of unexpected, surprising action we're picking up. But with the King of Pentacles, Page of Wands in reverse, it's like, no, you are not. So watch out for power struggles in this time, or people trying to tell you what to do or how to do it or when you could do something, because this energy doesn't have much structure or doesn't want it. And then this one is like, there will be structure. Like this energy seems to be trying to put its foot down. Now, the Page of Wands, usually all pages, again, they're an action card. Remember the big fire, very energetic. Let's go, let's go, let's do this. It's like very hyped up. Um, there's a boldness to it. But when it's in reverse underneath a card like the King of Pentacles, when you put a page next to a king, there is this shyness that could come up with the pages. So yeah, there's just this odd plan of someone saying, hey, let's just wing it. Let's not go according to the plan. Let's just do something. And then this energy is like, I will not allow that. Like, no, you're going to regret that. Hate to say I told you so type of energy as well. So watch out for stuff like that. And I know Leos are very independent minded and independent in general. Um, like being told what to do, when to do, or how to do it. But there is this energy that seems to be trying to do that with what I'm picking up here. We're going to keep going. We're going to see what's up with the King of Wands. Yeah, little power struggle here in the center. That's so odd, so unique. What's going on the King of Wands? And again, I know it's getting hyper specific. Only take whatever hits for you. But there is this little, I don't even want to call it a warning, but let's go in on the King of Wands. Let's see what that has. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So thank you. Okay. All right. So we have death in reverse underneath this King of Wands, where it's like, I'm just going to do it anyway, or I'm going to do it eventually. Now, the one thing I'll say about death in reverse, sometimes it can represent certain things where like you thought it was over, but it's not. So watch out for things, situations that might flare back up. That's very possible. Watch out for things popping back up, returning. I think I saw that for you a few weeks ago. Seems like there is a door open for that. But if we were to put that message to the side, just the flow of the energy and how it's going, it's like, no, I'm not going to go according to plan. I'm just going to do what I want. No, you're not. Yes, I am. It's like this little back and forth. So when I see the King of Wands with death in reverse, it is like surprising action or unexpected action. That's a big vibe. And I think I saw similar things in other fire signs a couple weeks ago, where whether it's actions you take might be a little different than you normally do, or the actions of people around you where it's like, whoa, okay, like I wasn't expecting you to do that. There is this energy of surprising or unexpected action in two parts within this reading. Now, death. This is a card that I always say don't get freaked out about. It's just big Scorpio vibes. It represents change and transformation. It can be endings, of course, but when I see it in reverse, it's like, no, my mind is set. This is what I'm doing now. So we have this back and forth where it's just like very urge based, not going according to plan. Then something tries to rein it in or control it, and then the energy lashes back out again. So this is what I'm going to do. No, you can't. Yes, I am. Like that's how the energy shows up. So again, watch out for like surprising, unexpected action, because I don't want to say it's like completely lashing out, but it's like it has its mindset now, if that makes sense. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So very intriguing push-pull of energy, and I will say for some Leos, this could just be the energy of people around you. So watch out for people that are bumping heads a little bit. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we got the Fool with the Two of Wands in reverse. I did say this felt a little risky, or someone just not going according to the plan or the strategy, like screw it, I'm just going to do it because I feel like it. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a little impulsive the way the energy looks to me. So just watch out for that in this time. Moving to the center, and yeah, here it ties in with the back where there's like the unexpected, surprising action where it's like, I'm going to color outside the lines. Moving to the middle, we got the King of Pentacles with the Fool, not the Fool, the Page of Wands in reverse underneath it, where it tries to put its foot down or tries to control something, where it's like, this is where I'm going. No, you're not. So watch out for people trying to tell you what to do, how to do it. It does feel kind of judgy too, but it also feels like a parent trying to direct a child in a way. I don't know why it's coming through that way. Um, so yeah, just something to be aware of. But moving to the back end, I have the King of Wands with the Death card in reverse, where it's like it's going to do it anyway. Like you could try to control this thing, but it's going to do what it wants to do, one way or another. So I still have like the surprising, unexpected action aspect, but it's like, this is what I'm doing. No, you can't. Yes, I will now. It's like an energy that seems to double down. So just watch out for that. And there's things that could pop back up or inflame in this time. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the lovely Leos? And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card going. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Queen of Pentacles. So you see what I mean? There's just a lot of people showing up, right? Like we have 7 cards out here. This will be the 8th card. And like 4 of them, half of the spread this week are other people. Now we got Earth sign energy once again. So the Queen of Pentacles is like the bookend to the King of Pentacles. Now the thing I love about the Queen of Pentacles, she reminds me of the Empress. She represents blessings and abundance, which is really great. But the shadow side of her is that she can be very stubborn or set in her ways and restrictive, which is what I'm seeing right here. So again, if you're feeling like you have cabin fever, if you're feeling restricted in any kind of way, just watch out, because your energy might lash out against that, or someone's might. When I see the Queen of Pentacles, watch out for issues with like work and social circle too. That's another big thing. But I mean, aside from that, she can be good. But I just see a lot of static coming from other sources. So we're going to put her down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight into your situation and you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the March subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 subscribers to win either a copy of the Everyday Witches Tarot, beautiful deck, or a handmade crystal pendant, which I showcase at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what zodiac signs do you get along best with? Which ones are your favorite? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.